play.
As we've just highlighted Bergs and Djokovic, let's get into their upcoming encounter, which will be a quarterfinal clash, which will decide to see who makes the semi-finals and play the winner of Watchalong and Holger Rune, as previously mentioned. Has Bergs maybe been one of those players that has done well, taken advantage of the decimation of the draw as well to some extent? I mean, he's someone who struggled actually with quite a bit of form this year at times. I don't know if he had a sort of post. There was the Davis Cup controversy at the beginning of February, I think, wasn't there, when he went crazy after winning a point and then ran into Christian Garin. And again, you sort of, fans probably more than pundits, but we sort of draw lines in the sand, don't we? And go, I don't think he's been quite the same since then. And it did seem to knock the wind out of him maybe more than it did Garin in so many ways. And also, I think he even said at some point, not referring to that moment, but he did say at some point during the summer that he was, he was not happy with how things were going. Let's say that, but he's recharged, if you like, and gone again, and he's on a good run here, and he's going to be playing Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. I mean, when I think about Bergs, I struggle in terms of what's his best surface, like what suits him the best. But he's got that solid game off both wings, has the ability to be super aggressive with the forehand and get to the net. So I do credit kind of that style. Think about his run this week. It started against Sebi Korda, where I didn't have him coming through there. I thought, this is a good opportunity for Korda to get the wheels going again. He was down 4-1 in that second set, ends up winning at 7-5. So he gets through in straights and then sends Ruud to a third set, and it got a little bit physical for Ruud. So Ruud had to retire, and then there he is winning that first set against Cerundolo in a breaker and kind of making, just having Fran doubt himself kind of after that first set. And then again, I mean, Bergs and Diallo know each other well. They met in a final earlier this year. I think they play some doubles together as well. So that's always difficult going into a match. Drops the first set fairly routinely after an early break, and then finds a way to come back, save some match point. I think he saved one match point, and it was on Diallo's serve. So you do have to. He had two looks. I think it's 6-4 in the breaker, and then had to save one, and then eventually got it done. But yeah, I mean, it's a good brand of tennis. I think he was able to pick on the Diallo backhand a bit more and just kind of go off of his consistency. And he's actually been pretty adamant about the conditions this week. He's almost embracing them in a sense. He said after beating Cerundolo that he felt great, he enjoyed the battle, and he enjoyed the suffering, and that he actually kind of accepted his situation. And he does play quite roller coaster matches, so that's a good kind of perspective for him. But I guess from a perspective here, it's gonna be about rally tolerance, right, with Djokovic, or we're gonna see what version we see of him in a day's time, as Djokovic does have a day to rest. We'll get to Djokovic in a sec whenever I'll let you talk about Bergs, but yeah, I mean, if you're Bergs, you have to be happy, content, and kind of excited at this matchup, and probably your best opportunity to take down Novak Djokovic.
I mean, he's been the underdog in every encounter so far, by varying margins. You never quite know with Korda, Ruud, and Cerundolo, but you'd imagine that those were 60-40, 70-30s in Bergs' opponent's favor. He maybe gets a little bit of a break in terms of Casper. Casper's actually had probably, for me, his worst year on tour in terms of injuries. I've always found Casper pretty solid, and whether it be 5 sets or 3 or whatever the format is and whatever the surface, even on grass, it's never a physical issue with him. And I do remember him losing in 5 sets to Liam Brody in 23, I think it was. But But you know what I mean? It's been a bit of just a few more. I mean, for the average player, it's probably fine the year he's had in terms of injuries. But by Casper's standards, he's had that a few times. So maybe Zizou got a bit of a break there. But for sure, as well against Fran and Sebi, I would have thought that both of those two opponents would have overcome Zizou one way or another. And Diallo as well. Diallo as well is having a good year, just creeping up the rankings. May well be seeded come the Australian Open. We'll see. That's going to be nip and tuck for the next few weeks and see how that turns out in terms of the Australian Open, which will be in January, of course. And then obviously you mentioned the advantages that Diallo had at various points. Yeah, I would have expected him to come through that. And unfortunately, maybe from the spectator's point of view, I think Diallo would have probably posed Novak a few more problems than Zizou Bergs. Maybe I'm being hard on the Belgian, but I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I'd agree. I do kind of circle that backhand wing. I think I saw a stat. It was like 1 winner to 13 unforced errors for Diallo.
From Diallo, okay, right.
Yeah. So when you do think about going against either player,
Djokovic
would be tough regardless.
Yeah. It's probably more just the fact that I just think that there's just not much that Bergs has. Really.
That's exactly how I evaluate him, right? It's like it's a spinny forehand. It can do some damage. He's a fine server. It's just he possesses, just fairly solid. I would check the box as solid. And he does when he does play aggressive. I mean, it is dangerous. So yeah.
Novak has come through Cilic this week. It was straight sets, but could easily have gone 3. I think maybe Novak had a few issues when serving it out. I remember a few discussions with his box and a few other things that he was frustrated with at the time, but he did serve it out in the end in straights. Hanfman was a 3-setter, having lost the first set, and Munar was also a 3-setter. I mean, I think if there were really big opponents in weight for Novak, and I mean a fully fit and firing Ben Shelton, as well as obviously Alcaraz and Sinner, and maybe even Taylor Fritz over 3 sets. And obviously I know he's never won against Novak, so I might be getting carried away there. But for sure the other 3 players I highlighted, or maybe the Jack Draper of the first 5 months of the year, then I would think Novak is sort of waiting to be beaten, given what I'm seeing on the court. However, those players are not there, and that's not Novak's fault. But Zizou Bergs is in his way, and I think it might end up being the easiest win of the tournament so far for Novak.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all about his physical state, right? But I'll pose that in a more genuine way. The guy seems to be okay after falling down, after losing the second set. He's on the ground, huffing and puffing with the physio. So I mean, look, it's something that he's done throughout his career. I actually watched this match from the second set on, and I learned about he was having calf Achilles problems, and I didn't see him in the final 2 sets once reach for that kind of area. But I mean, from a tennis perspective, looking to shorten points at times, Munar is going to defend well, but really forehand inside out was firing. When he had his chance to kind of flatten it out or even hit that forehand up the line and join the net, very, very clinical there. Good volleys, and serving a little bit more, spot serving to his ability as always. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely an opportunity where a lot of these top players, like I mentioned, you got to be licking your chops at this draw and this opportunity. Novak only came out here for Shanghai, and obviously praises the city, the fans, the support. The support he gets is insane, right? Even today, every point they were going crazy. So I think he's going to use the crowd.
Chinese, doesn't he? And I think he's warmed to them and they've warmed to him. I think it's sort of a 50-50 thing, and it's helped both ways. And I think just the fact that he's the biggest name by some distance in the draw right now. So
right. So I think his game for sure has the ability to trouble Bergs. Let's see, what time he plays, how humid it is. I don't know if the conditions are going to let up at all in a day or two's time, but Yeah, I mean, from a tennis perspective, it'll be tough to challenge him.
Yeah, indeed. I think even if, for example, even if it was a Lerner Teen or definitely a Daniel Medvedev in this particular encounter rather than Zizou Bergs, I would be throwing in some more interest. Daniel Medvedev for kind of obvious reasons, even if 2025 and maybe even 2024 have been rough for Daniel. We have seen some upshoots for him. And Lerner Teen is somebody who actually a little bit it's very rare that Lerner disappoints me in terms of the fact that, you know, he wins matches and he loses matches, and when he loses them, you know, he's done whatever he can to try and win it. It's not the same as, actually, funny enough, Daniel Medvedev. Sometimes I'm seeing him losing a tennis match, or Holger Rune for sure, and you're like, what are you doing? It's never quite like that with Lerner. But actually in the first set in particular, I would say more than anything else, and that's where the match ultimately, I think, was won and lost against Novak at the US Open. He really did let himself down in terms of his level and what I think he can do, and what I think he can do to potentially trouble Novak. That'll obviously come much later. That will come in the final if Lerner can get there. And of course, if Lerner Teen is to get there, he's going to have to overcome the aforementioned Daniel Medvedev. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. Apologies for the delay, but I'm here. Better late than never. Yeah, as you can see on the screen, Djokovic has held. He was down 15-30 in his first game, but he recovered from that and was on serve at 2-1. The commentators were just saying that his position is pretty deep in many respects in the court. Will be something to keep an eye on. Anyway, do let me know your thoughts in the live chat. Of course, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new as the players return to the court. We'll also have Belinda Bencic as well. She's coming up against Iga Swiatek. So that is something to look forward to. That's about to kick off, if you pardon the footballing parlance, shortly. But for now, we've got Bergs serving at 1-2 against Djokovic. Bergs serve. Wide there. Djokovic does really well to return it, but the +1 winner is too good, and it's 15 all. From Bergs into the look there, isn't he, Novak? Cross court there. Good depth from Zizou, but he's on the defensive here. It's going to be a forehand from Novak. Not good enough to win the point, though. We're still into the rally. Who's going to first? Still in the rally here on the backhand side of Novak into the backhand of Bergs, and it's Bergs who goes long with that backhand. Hello, Swiatek and Bencic fans. Give me a moment to share their score on the screen. They haven't yet started, of course. Make sure you hit the like button, people. And it's 30 all here between Bergs and Djokovic as Djokovic goes long. And it's now 40-30 Bergs, getting out of a similar hole to what Novak got out of in his first service game. There we go. So you'll soon as this match begins, you will be able to... Oh, I've shared that on the wrong one. Juice now. So a little bit of pressure here. Hits the net and lands out. Pegula, of course, coming through in 3 sets today, just like she did in the previous round. In fact, humorously afterwards, she said, I can't remember the last time I played just 2 sets. Of course, she was involved in a 3-set loss to Noskova in the semi-finals last week in Beijing. Of course, now we're Bergs and Djokovic here locked at deuce. Bencic and Swiatek warming up in Wuhan. And it's a game point now for Zizou. And Bergs does indeed level things up, mainly thanks to a really good first serve that Djokovic could barely get his racket on, and Bergs puts away the winner. Djokovic serving then at 2-all. Djokovic here looking reasonably comfortable on serve at 30 love. Backhand here from Djokovic is going to be too good, I think. Yes, indeed. 3 game points now for Novak Djokovic. Bencic and Swiatek still warming up. You're not missing anything. Goes down the tee with an ace for 3-2. Still on serve. So, yeah. Djokovic yet to face a break point. Was down 15-30 in his first service game, but ultimately has been comfortable ever since. Okay, Swiatek now practicing serves. I'll keep you up to date on that particular encounter. Bergs and Djokovic having a well-earned rest at the moment, 3-2 on serve. Couple of goats there, Djokovic and Messi side by side on a t-shirt, an Argentinian t-shirt it appears. See a little bit of tape on the inside of Djokovic's thigh. Has had some physical issues this week, not quite to the extent that Holger Rune, of course, had in his loss today to Watchalong, and Watchalong now is into the world's top 100. Forehand return here for Novak into the forehand of Bergs. Bergs' forehand is the more comfortable side for the Belgian. Still on the Bergs forehand. Puts Novak under pressure, but Novak defends well. But he can't defend that. 15 love. I'm going to get some water and put the kettle on as Bencic and Swiatek prepare to get underway. Bergs here at 30-15. Don't panic, people. I'm still here. Swiatek is serving first, by the way, and she begins the match with a 30-love lead. And the second of those points was an ace. Bergs nets, so he's at 30 all now. And Swiatek holds for 1 love. Bergs in a spot of bother at deuce. Swiatek held to love, by the way. And it's Bencic to serve, and she gets off winning the first point. And that was a backhand that Bergs couldn't deal with on the weaker side. Djokovic knows where to go on that return. Of course, the winner of this will be playing Valentin Vacheron who was ranked outside the top 200 at the beginning of this tournament. But as a result of his semi-final run, will now enter the top 100. I think he's live ranked at 92. Bergs here going to have a smash. Is he going to put it away? No, he misses the smash. So it's 4-2. A little nervous there, I think. Watching Bencic and Swiatek here in a rally. Bencic goes long, so it's 15 all. Djokovic with the first break. Of course, he came through Marin Cilic in the first round, but since then had to have some tough three-setters, including in the previous round against Jaime Munar. Hanfman as well was dispatched also in 3 sets. That's an awry backhand there from Djokovic. That volley from Swiatek is class. 15-30 on the Bencic serve. Make sure to give us a follow, by the way, on Instagram at TalkingTennisTT. You can also follow us on X at TalkingTennis22. Swiatek there, 30 all backhand return into the net from Iga. 15 all here between Bergs and Djokovic. Djokovic on the forehand into the forehand of Bergs. Djokovic there going for the backhand. Good depth there from Djokovic. Trying not to be too predictable with going to the backhand all the time. Oh, that's nice from Zizou. Caught Novak by surprise there with that forehand slice down the line. Sort of a fake drop shot, wasn't it? It was like one of those ones from that we see from Carlos Alcaraz from time to time. Game point for Belinda Bencic, by the way, to make it 1 all. Good serve there from Novak. Oh, the forehand has gone awry, and it's 15-40. Was a good serve from Novak, and he had a fairly easy put-away forehand. And he's already bending down as though he's suffering a little bit. Bencic and Swiatek at deuce, by the way. It's a nice forehand from Novak here. Novak here having to save 2 break points if he potentially can. Going to pepper that backhand, you'd imagine. Now it's on the Bergs forehand. Nets on the second forehand there. Does Bergs 40 or 30-40? Still 1 more break point to save. Bencic and Swiatek in a dogfight in this second game of the match. The first on Bencic's serve. Djokovic misses the first serve. Zizou, is this your moment? Backhand return. Backhand from Novak cross court into the backhand of Bergs, but of course the backhand goes awry. Djokovic there just going for the backhand all the time with a fairly slow second serve, but not much Bergs could do with it on the backhand side. 16 unforced errors already from Zizou. I mean, some people don't even do that in an entire match. Never mind after 6 games. Bencic and Swiatek are at deuce, by the way. Bergs here with another break point. And Swiatek gets the break, by the way. So Iga Swiatek leading 2-love. Break point number 3 in this game for Zizou. Here's the forehand into the backhand of Novak. Backhand from Zizou. Forehand to forehand right now. That's a bit of a tepid forehand. That's a bigger one there from Bergs. Bergs comes into the net, gets the volley. Oh, lovely lob from Novak. Bergs goes big on the forehand. Now he's going to have another forehand. Djokovic on the backhand, gets it over the net. Slice now from both players. Now it's Novak's turn to come into the net. Oh, Bergs. He was a sitting duck there, Novak at the net, but Bergs could not pass. Puts the backhand, fairly easy backhand down the line it was. The court was open in many respects, but Bergs couldn't put it away. Meanwhile, Iga in control. 2-love, 15-love. $22-shot rally, that last rally. And the service clock is going to be out. Time violation warning already for Novak. Next time will be a loss of a serve. Backhand cross court from Novak into the backhand of Zizou. Now it's down the line. Forehand Bergs. Forehand from Novak into the backhand of Bergs. This is a fairly obvious tactic. Eventually that backhand normally will break down from Zizou. As it is, it's the forehand that goes too long from Bergs. Just millimeters out, that was. Iga very much in control in her match. 30-15 on her serve at 2-love. Game point here for Novak Djokovic. Good serve down the tee, into the rally right now. Backhand from Bergs into the forehand of Novak. That's a really good forehand from Novak. He's in charge of the point here. Drop shot. Bergs is going to get there. Nice backhand from him. He's got a smash. Puts it away. Deuce. Novak there really is struggling, it seems. Deuce. Swiatek with 2 game points, by the way. Good serve from Novak. Game point once again for the Serb. Swiatek, good change of direction there, by the way. Iga now again going. Now it's Iga's turn to defend. And now it's Bencic's turn to defend. Iga going to come into the net with a drive volley. Doesn't put it away. She's going to have a smash now. Not the easiest of smashes, but she puts it away and wins the game. 3-love. Iga leads. Back to Djokovic and Bergs. 4-2. Game point Novak. Second serve. He holds serve here, and you'd think he'd probably just have enough in the locker to get over the line and win this first set. But it's all about this game. Nice forehand there from Novak. And Zizou puts the backhand into the net. Djokovic holds for 5-2. So, both of these matches now at a change of ends. Iga leading 3-love. Djokovic leading 5-2. Make sure you hit that like button. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. Also get voting in our poll as to who you think is going to win. Why is he your favorite German player, Keen? Out of interest? What's wrong with McDonald? Or Mackenzie, the Scottish sounding names. Djokovic here, by the way, is shaking with his t-shirt off. Iga Swiatek, 3-love up on Bencic, and Swiatek has been comfortable on serve. I think she's dropped 2 points. Sorry, just 1 point in her 2 service games. And of course, she broke Bencic in a lengthy service game that Belinda had. Got it, Keen. Got it. Where is Squire in the live rankings? So, Swiatek 3-love, Djokovic 5-2, and by the way, it's love 15 already on the Bencic serve. Disagree, Keen. I don't think he's that massively overachieved. What's Hassan's career high? 130, 140. I think he's line of Benny, but I think he has a great deal of variety. I think I like his aggressive game. He may have played terribly this week. I didn't see. But I don't think you should look at one game or even 1 year in isolation when you're assessing a guy's career. Would he win a round at the Olympics as well? Just trying to think. What's his career high? Might be 120. Double fault there from Zizou Bergs, and it's love 30. First double fault of the match, that. And he's hit the first serve into the net, so it's going to be a second serve here for Novak to look at. And it's another double fault. So we've got 3 set points now for Novak Djokovic here at love 40. Meanwhile, Bencic serving at 40-30, so she has a game point. Three set points here for Novak Djokovic. It's an ace from Zizou, so he saves one of the set points. Swiatek gets to deuce. Are we going to be seeing opening? So 2 set points have been saved. Yes, he can with an ace down the tee. Ooh, Bergs with a volley there, but Djokovic should put this away, and he does. Reese, I think. That's who you mean. I just saw him practicing the day before, and I think I was watching him practice with his partner, Donald, maybe a Scottish guy. So it was Reese and Duncan, I think, was the partnership, wasn't it? By the way, Berg saves the set point again. By the way, so yeah, I saw him practicing the day before. He said, "Do I want to have a hit there and then?" Because we were just talking about, let's say, from some frustrations with how tennis is being run and managed, and making sure it looks after the fat cats at the top and no one else. And then he said, "Do you want to have a hit?" And I was like, "Well, I can't right now. I mean, I wasn't wearing the appropriate clothing for a start." So I said, "Well, what about tomorrow?" He said, "Yep, I'm playing in the morning. We'll do it in the afternoon." So that was that. Of course, he then got defaulted the next day, and never came about. I bumped into him in Estoril this year on the day of the final, and I think he's doing a bit of coaching now. Djokovic here with another set point. It's another good serve down the tee from Bergs, though, and he saves that one as well. I will share the Bencic score with you on the screen. I can see that it's absent. And Bencic, by the way, held serve. That's another tough hold. Bergs now has his first game point. And Djokovic goes long. So Bergs gets out of a big hole there, having to save 5 set points. And Novak will serve now, though, for the set at 5-3. 45 minutes already on the clock. And we've only played 8 games. Meanwhile, over in Wuhan, Swiatek is serving. And it's 1-3, love 30 on the eager serve. Djokovic leads 15 love after an unreturned serve, or a return that went long. Okay, Iga to serve. Love 30. Now on the backhand of Iga. Ooh, and that's a good backhand. It's enough to force the error from Bencic, 15-30. Meanwhile, over in Shanghai, Djokovic serving at 15 love. Forehand return from Zizou. Backhand cross court now from Zizou, and the backhand from Novak goes into the net, 15 all. Djokovic 30-15. And we're going to have 2 break points now for Belinda Bencic over in Wuhan. Incredible depth from Bergs, although not repeated now. Backhand cross court into the backhand of Novak. Just got to keep this attritional, Zizou. Obviously, if you get your chances, especially on the forehand, you've got to go for it perhaps. But and you've missed that forehand. 2 set points now for Novak Djokovic. These are set points, of course, 6 and 7 for the Serb. Meanwhile, Swiatek saves one of those break points. So it's 30-40, but it's going to be a second serve here for Bencic to look at. Backhand return from Bencic is too good. It's a backhand return winner from Bencic, and we are back on serve in Wuhan. Meanwhile, Djokovic on return serve. He wins the first set by 6 games to 3. So Djokovic, 1 set to the good. He's a set away from another Masters 1000 semi-final. He gets some ice put around his neck. "12 winners, 24 unforced errors from Zizou Bergs. By the way, just 5 winners from Novak in that set. But it doesn't matter. 9 unforced errors. Maybe not the most exciting, explosive sets of tennis you'll ever see. 17 winners from either player, or the players combined. Are we looking at, rather than a bagel or a breadstick, are we now going to be looking at an epic encounter between Bencic and Swiatek? They are back on serve with Belinda serving at 2-3. And it's Zizou Bergs who's going to go off court for a break. Kind of surprisingly, maybe. I thought it might be Novak who would go off court at this juncture. Anyway, Belinda serving now. 2-3. Forehand return from Iga's pretty good, but lovely behind her forehand there from Bencic as Iga was scrambling back across court, having been pushed far out wide in the deuce court. She then comes back across court, and as she's coming back, Belinda Bencic puts a forehand cross-court winner away. 15 love. Double fault from Bencic, though, so it's 15 all. So Bencic here serving. And it's 15-30 on the Swiss's serve. She goes long as well on the first serve, so Iga's going to get a second serve to look at here. Backhand return from Iga is really good. Now it's on the backhand side again for Iga Swiatek. Bencic struggling here, but Iga puts that backhand down the line into the tram line, so it is 30 all. Zizou Bergs is having a break at the end of this set. 3.5 minutes into that break, so of course it's a 5-minute break permitted. Meanwhile, Bencic, 30 all, 2-3. Goes down the tee. It's a good first serve. The return's going to go long, and so it's 40-30, and a game point now for Belinda to make it 3 all. Goes long on the first serve, does Belinda. So second serve here for Iga to look at. Forehand return from Swiatek is long as well, so it is 3 all. Swiatek is serving at 3 all, 15 love. Still waiting for Zizou to return. Do make sure you hit that like button, by the way, people. And also you can click share and share this on the socials. And of course, if you haven't already done so, please do hit subscribe. Zizou Bergs is back on court, and we've got Swiatek serving here at 15 love in Wuhan. Over in Shanghai, Djokovic won the first set by 6-3, and they're about to commence the second set. Backhand return from Bencic is wide. 30 love Swiatek. Bergs and Djokovic now about to get back underway with Zizou serving first. Djokovic looking a little fresher than he did 10 minutes ago. Backhand from Swiatek. Backhand here from Bencic. Good defense from Belinda. Oh, wonderful passing shot from Bencic. 30-15. Meanwhile, Bergs love 15 on his serve. And he misses that first serve, so it's love 15 second serve. Cross court here from Swiatek is going to be too good for Belinda Bencic. 40-15, 2 game points for the pole. The world number 2, of course. Drop shot here from Bergs is too good, 15 all. And Swiatek holds for 4-3 with a close call, but it's a hold all the same. Meanwhile, Zizou Bergs, 15 all. Just get my battery charger. $30-15 for Zizou. Second serve, down the tee, forehand return, backhand cross court now into the backhand of Djokovic, backhand from Zizou. Nice change of direction there from Bergs. Good depth from Novak, but that's not a good forehand from Novak. Goes into the net. 40-15, 2 game points for Bergs. Meanwhile, Swiatek and Bencic are on a change of ends. They are on serve. Iga had an initial early break, but that was ceded in the previous service game that she had to 15, or was it to 30? Maybe to 30. She blows her nose and returns to the court where she knows that Bencic will be serving at 3-4, so a little bit of pressure for the Swiss to deal with. Meanwhile, Zizou Bergs has held to 15. Zizou Bergs just asking for a towel to dry his hands. That forehand from Iga's going to go long, so love 15. 15 love on the Bencic serve. Good serve down the tee there from Novak, 15 love. Bergs got his hand or his racket on the ball, but it wasn't enough with enough purchase to get it back over the net. And Bencic is up 30 love on her serve. Another good serve from Novak down the tee. Forehand from Bergs goes into the net, 30 love. Meanwhile, 30 love is very much the score between Bencic and Swiatek. Bencic there with a good serve down the tee. Backhand return from Iga's really good. And Bencic can't quite deal with it, so 30-15. 40 love. Meanwhile, Bencic and Swiatek in a rally, and Bencic errs with a forehand into the net. So 30 all. What was looking like a comfortable service game at 30 love is now anything but at 30 all. Novak with another good serve down the tee. Forehand from Novak into the forehand of Bergs. Backhand cross court from Zizou. Now into the forehand of Zizou, and the Zizou forehand goes awry, and it is 1 game all. Over to Bencic and Swiatek, though, in Wuhan. Oh, that's a wonderful forehand winner there from Bencic. 40-30. Backhand return into the backhand of Bencic. Backhand from Swiatek, forehand Bencic into the forehand of Iga. Backhand cross court from Iga's good. Bencic gets a racket on it, but it should be Iga winning the point indeed. Deuce. Meanwhile, Berg serving at 1 all. That's a good forehand from Bergs, but well defended from Novak. That's a nice put away, though, there from Bergs. That wasn't easy at all. 15 love. Game point now for Belinda. Another game point here for Belinda Bencic on her serve. And she takes it. So 4 all in Wuhan. 1 all in the second set in Shanghai. Berg serving at 30 love. Forehand return from Novak is pretty good, but that forehand cross court from Bergs is equally good, if not better. And he wins the point for 40 love. 3 game points for Zizou. We do have an interview with Zizou Bergs on our channel from 2023. We also have an interview with Zizou Bergs' father from 2024. That backhand, by the way, is going to go long. The backhand volley that was from Bergs was a fairly, not easy, but he just has to get it in the court. And he doesn't manage to do so. 40-15. Okay, Iga serving here at 4 all. Backhand cross court. Backhand cross court there from Belinda Bencic. That backhand down the line, by the way, is going to be too long from Iga, so it's love 15. If you hit subscribe, by the way, oh, that was a really good return from Djokovic. But Bergs, who came into the net, was equal to it with the volley. So 2-1. Yeah, if you hit subscribe, you can, you'll see that number just below my head tick over. You'll see the difference you're making in real time. And you can do a little dance and know that you're making a difference. Hey, Gene. What have you made of the match so far? Are you concerned about the physicality for Novak? As for Iga, if you're an Iga Swiatek fan, you might be a little bit concerned. She was up an early break, but they're back on serve now, and she's at love 30 here at 4-all. This next point feels huge in the destiny of this first set. Bencic takes it, and it's 3 break points. Iga gets it, and she can breathe at least a little easier. It's going to be a second serve here for Bencic to look at. Backhand return is there from Belinda, but that's a nice forehand from Iga, and it's going to be too good. 15-30. Time is called, so Djokovic will return to the court at 1-2. He is moving and looking a lot better physically in this second set, at least in the early stages of it, than he was towards the end of the first. It is a first set, of course, that Novak won, hitting just 5 winners in the entire set, and it was a lengthy set in terms of minutes, at least. There was a few deuce games as well. Good return there from Belinda Bencic. The forehand cross court from Belinda. The backhand down the line from Iga. Both players fighting. And it's Belinda Bencic who errs on the backhand side. So it's 30-all. Meanwhile, Djokovic here serving. Second serve for Zizou to look at. Forehand. That's a double fault for me, Djokovic, to start this game. So love 15. Meanwhile, Swiatek and Bencic are at 30-all. So 2 points in a row, 2 huge points for Iga to win. That's Djokovic's first double fault of the match, by the way. And Bencic is going to have a break point after that excellent cross court. Djokovic wins the next point for 15-all, but that was an cross court or venomous cross court shot there from Bencic, and she's going to have a break point here at 30-40. So an opening here for Belinda. Remember, she was down a break in this first set. Jean there using an emoji. Nice. Hello. Okay, break point here for Belinda Bencic. Into the body, that serve. It must have clipped the net. So it's going to be another serve for Belinda. Forehand there from Novak. He's on the deck, 15-30, but he gets up pretty quickly. But he's whacking his racket on his thigh, reminiscent of that 2021 US Open final when he was doing similar stuff against Medvedev. On that occasion, it felt like it was some mental issues that he was having that was preventing his body from moving how he wished. Today, it's more physical, it would appear. Net first serve is there for 15-30. Here's the break point for Bencic, by the way. Let's talk us through this one. Backhand return from Belinda is decent, and the backhand cross-court from Iga is not. And Belinda Bencic breaks for 5-4. When they return to the court after this break, Belinda Bencic will be serving for the first set. Meanwhile, backhand return from Zizou is going to go long, 30-all. So, Bencic 5-4. Djokovic 1-2 in this second set. 30-all. Let me know in the live chat. Is Djokovic winning another slam? Yes or no? Backhand here from Bergs. Forehand from Novak. If Djokovic doesn't win Shanghai, you would think, the next 1,000 is obviously Paris, but I don't think he'll play Paris-Bercy. I see him playing Athens and the ATP Tour Finals. That's what I anticipate. If he's physically okay. Otherwise, it'll be just Athens. It's just the movement from Bencic, I think. That's the big weakness for me. Nice backhand there from Bergs. And Bergs puts the smash away at the net, and it's deuce. That was a flying smash a la Monfils or Pete Sampras. Bergs has actually erred at least once on the smash today. Gene is pretty sure that Djokovic is not winning another slam. What about, is he winning another Masters 1000? Well, to be honest with you, the answer might well be influenced by the next hour or so. If he wins today, you'd imagine he'd beat Watchalong in this, and then he's into a final where he'll be playing de Minaur maybe, Medvedev maybe, Felix Auger-Aliassime. You know, he'd have at least a 50-50 chance against, I think, all three of those, maybe even more. I think he might even be the slight favorite in some of them. Berg's backhand there into the net. It's definitely the backhand that his weaker side appears on. And Djokovic is going to have a game point. Yeah, Bencic, I would probably put her at 3 on the WTA Tour on the backhand side. 15 love, by the way, for Belinda right now. And Djokovic holds for 2-all. Bergs, by the way, those second serve stats don't look great. 5 from 15. So that's 33%. But it is 2-all. After a good serve from Novak was unreturned, or at least the return went long. So 2-all, Zizou Bergs to serve, 1 hour, 13 minutes on the clock there. Over in Wuhan, we've got Belinda Bencic serving at 15-all. She went up 15 love, but she's just gone long there, so 15-all. Nice serve down the tee there from Bencic. Bencic cross court with the forehand. Forehand Iga's got good depth on it. Now it's the time to change direction. Indeed, she does Bencic. Keep it into a back-to-backhand exchange, and you're probably going to win those, and you do win this one, 30-15. Okay, yes or no in the live chat. Is Djokovic winning another Masters 1000 title? Obviously, you get 8 to 10 of those per year, or 9 or 10 of those per year. So you'd think it's a lot bigger chance, plus it's best of 3. You just think if he doesn't win Shanghai, the next big opportunity for him will be Miami, if he plays Miami. That backhand return is going to go long from Novak, so 30 love. Does he play all 3 of the 1000s? The clay 1000s? Madrid, Rome, and Monte Carlo? Does he skip one? If so, which one does he skip? Probably Madrid. 40 love now for Berg, so 3 game points. Meanwhile, Bencic and Swiatek at 30 all. So just write yes or no in the live chat. Djokovic to win a 1000. That serve is going to be clip the net and still land in, but it's going to be another first serve here for Bencic. Bergs holds for 3-2. Forehand from Iga's good, 30-40. So break point, Iga Swiatek. Okay, Iga here, ready to pounce. Forehand return, backhand from her into the forehand of Iga. Iga on the defense. But Bencic misses the forehand, and we are back on serve, 5 games all. So, change of ends for Bergs and Djokovic. Djokovic will, when they return to the court, will be serving at 2-3, having won the first set by 6-3. And now we have Bencic and Swiatek locked at 5-all. That's 10 games. There were 4 breaks altogether, 2 breaks each. Hence, we are at 5-all. It was Iga who drew first blood with an early break, but Bencic broke back. It was then Bencic who went up a break before Swiatek just broke back just right now when Bencic was serving for that first set, for this first set. Backhand return here from Bencic into the backhand of Iga, but that backhand from Bencic is going to go into the net, 5-all, 15-love. Meanwhile, Djokovic and Bergs are back on court. Djokovic serving at 2-3. Down the tee, and that backhand is just going to miss from Bergs. So 15-love. Gene, fantastic in terms of Watchalong's run, but it can happen. You know, your point about Holger Rune's physicality issues came to fruition. Wonderful backhand down the line winner there from Djokovic, 30-love. Yeah, in that third set, Rune was struggling big style. He was struggling at times even in the second set with what appeared to be cramps. And yet he still nearly got it back on serve, didn't he, Holger, in that final game? But yeah, incredible to be outside the top 200 at the beginning of a tournament and inside the top 100 come the end of it. Whatever happens now for Watchalong is remarkable. And he was very emotional at the end as he wrote top 100 on the camera. His team were emotional too. But it can happen, you know, you can have a run and come up against at least 2 of his opponents, I think, were physically compromised, right? Obviously, Holger today. An ace down the tee from Djokovic means he holds for 3-all. 2 game points for Iga Swiatek at 40-15. Yeah, so he had a walkover, didn't he, against Mahac? And yeah, and then today it wasn't a walkover, but as we saw in those final games, Holger could barely move. Oh, nice serve volley there from Zizou. By the way, Zizou deploying the serve volley today, that does appear to be a tactic that he's leaning on. It's interesting with Novak so far behind the court as well. Just wonder if other players might take a leaf out of that book. Meanwhile, 40-30 with Iga. First serve from Bergs goes long. Backhand return into the backhand of Bergs. Forehand of Djokovic. Forehand Bergs cross court. Forehand from Djokovic. Good depth there from Djokovic, but he's not going to get that. 30-love. And Iga Swiatek holds, by the way. So she leads 6-5. Bencic, when she returns to the court, will be serving at 5-6 to stay in the first set. That's 2 games in a row for Iga. Obviously, the previous one being a break, and now this one. So she is back on course almost. Are we on course for a third set in Shanghai? He is, and yet, does he have a big weapon, Gene? I mean, I guess it's the forehand, isn't it? The volleys can be good as well, which is a kind of a weapon, hence the serve volley tactic. He gets an ace there, though. I wouldn't call his serve a weapon, but it was a weapon on that point because it was an ace, almost wrong footing Novak. And so Bergs holds for 4-3. I don't know if you've seen any of our interviews that we've done with Zizou in 2023. Zizou was a bit of a social media influencer back in those days. I don't know if he's still doing posts, amusing posts on social media. And also we did an interview with his father last year where we talked about Zizou really targeting the Olympics, hoping to participate in the 2024 Olympics. Of course, he was in a team event in the Davis Cup this year, and I think he did make the Belgian team, right, in the Olympics last year. I'm just checking. There's a lady there singing into the camera. Just going to check whether he played singles or doubles at the Olympics last year. Zizou, of course, the gold medal was won by Djokovic. Just having a quick look at the men's singles right now. Djokovic beating Ebden in the first round, and then, of course, Nadal in the second round. Maybe he was injured, actually. Oh, no, he did play. Lost to Tsitsipas in the first round. Zizou Bergs. Okay, back on court and back to these matches. Djokovic here is up 15-love on his serve. Is he going to make it 30-love with the backhand winner? Yes, he is. Meanwhile, Bencic and Swiatek. Bencic serving here. (40-15) for Belinda, so 2 game points to force a tiebreak. 25 winners in this set from the two players. 10 from Bencic and 15 from Swiatek. And the forehand return from Berg goes into the net, so that's 40-love for Novak. A double fault, I think that was from Bencic. So 40-30. Still got one more game point. That's an ace from Djokovic, 4-all. Nice return there from Iga. Backhand from Iga into the backhand of Bencic. Backhand, forehand now from both players. Nice change of direction there from Iga, which is exactly, I think, what you need to do against Bencic. But she's missed the forehand, Iga. Close call, it suggests. But it was out in the tram line, indeed. And we're going to a first set tiebreak. Meanwhile, Bergs is serving at 4-all in Shanghai. Of course, this is a quarterfinal, whereas Bencic and Swiatek are in a round of 16 clash. So let's hone in on the... If I see a break point between Bergs and Djokovic, I'll let you know. But otherwise, let's hone in on Bencic against Swiatek. Swiatek has missed the first serve. Swiatek wins the first point, by the way, 1-0. So I was just watching a point there between Bergs and Djokovic, which was pretty wild. And is Djokovic about to make his move? I see he's at love 30. Second serve here for Iga to look at. 1-0 she leads in this tiebreak. Backhand return from Iga's good. Still on the backhand side for both players. Now it's on the Iga forehand. And that movement that I highlighted from Bencic being an issue, she struggles to get to that ball. And when she does, she hits it long. 2-0, Iga Swiatek. Meanwhile, Bergs 15-30 against Djokovic. Just from Iga's perspective, you just got to move Belinda from side to side as often as you can. Probably just going for the forehand a little bit more. And Bencic there puts that shot into the net, and it's 3-0 Swiatek. You'd feel as though Belinda's going to have to win at least one of these points on Iga's serve. Maybe even both. Double fault from Bergs, and we've got 2 break points for Novak Djokovic. Iga Swiatek, backhand cross-court into the backhand of Bencic. Backhand again cross-court into the backhand of Bencic. Changing direction now to the forehand of Belinda. Exchanging forehands down the middle of the court. Good depth there from both players, actually, as the rally continues. And Djokovic gets the break. Djokovic breaks, so he will serve for the match. Belinda Bencic comes into the net, puts a backhand volley away. 3-1. Djokovic breaks, though, for 5-4 and will serve for the match. So Djokovic, of course, hasn't been broken yet in this match. Meanwhile, 3-1. Forehand return from Bencic into the forehand of Iga. And that Bencic is going to so it's 4-1. Over to you, Belinda to serve at 1-4. I know, the smash, Gene, I know. I mean, I sort of get it. It was there to be sort of just jump up and whack. But he hit it so hard into the, or not hard, but he hit it with so much down force, if you like, that it ends up sitting up quite nicely for Novak, because he just needed a bit more depth, didn't he, on the smash, which of course is aided and abetted by him jumping up high. It was, sometimes those can be spectacular, but that was just an easy put away for Novak, wasn't it, in the end? It was just an empty court for him to hit the shot into. Anyway, Djokovic here serving 5-4. Double faults as well from Bergs today have been probably a few too many. Oh, nice cross-court forehand winner there for Bencic. So it's 4-2 at the change of ends. Djokovic serving for the match. Out wide. misses the first serve. Forehand return from Bergs into the backhand of Novak, which goes into the net. Love 15. Is there going to be a twist yet? I know, Gene, but we like showboats, right? You like Monfils? Come on. I think it was just there. That was the sort of thing that just felt natural to him. And you got to be natural. Yes, he messed up in a way. But, hey, we all mess up. And he's got to have a second serve here to look at. We might yet get a twist in this match. Zizou not broken all match, and then Djokovic serves for the match, and we get a break. That would be interesting. Goes down the tee. What a return that was from Zizou Bergs. Love 30. I wasn't even sure if it landed in. That must have just clipped the line. Meanwhile, 5-2 Swiatek. She has 2 serves to win the first set. Win this point, Zizou, and things get very, very interesting. Good first serve there from Novak, 15-30. Bencic's return just goes long. Would be millimeters in that one, but it is 4 set points for Iga Swiatek. Centimeters, actually. Djokovic misses the first serve at 15-30. 4 set points for Iga Swiatek. Second serve, 15-30, Novak Djokovic. Iga Swiatek wins the first set after Bencic goes long, so she wins it by 7-6. Back to Djokovic and Bergs, with Djokovic serving for the match at 15-30, exchanging backhands, which ultimately you would think would favor Novak, but we'll see. A slice from Zizou, still on the backhand. Now it's on the Zizou forehand. He thought about coming into the net, didn't do it. Drop shot from Zizou. Is it going to be good enough? Not yet. Is he going to get the lob right? No. Is he going to get this forehand right? No. Now he's going to be lobbed, is he? Backhand winner, volley from Zizou Bergs. And he punches the air. He's ready. Come on, he says. 15-40. Stats from the Belinda Bencic Iga Swiatek match. 6 aces from Iga, 1 from Bencic. 2 double faults apiece. And the winners count for Iga was 16 compared to 12 from Belinda Bencic. And Iga ruthless on break point opportunities, winning 2 from 2, while Bencic won 2 from 3. Of course, probably the biggest and most interesting thing is that Bencic served for that first set, was 2 points away from winning the first set. But ultimately, Iga broke and then won that tiebreak comfortably, 7-2. Okay, back to Djokovic and Bergs here. 5-4 Djokovic, 15-40. Can Bergs finally break the Djokovic serve? The first serve is missed. Good news that for Bergs, because the first and second serve ratio is a big differential, it feels, on the Novak serve. Okay, Djokovic to serve here, 15-40. Second serve for Bergs to look at. Backhand return is too good! And Bergs gets the break. Smiles all round in his team, and it is 5-all. That return at 15-30, as the commentators highlight, was sensational from Zizou Bergs. Maybe he's just starting to believe. Are we going to go to a third set? There was a twist anyway. I said there might be. Backhand here from Novak into the forehand of Bergs. Forehand from Novak is going to be mishit. And it's going to go long. 15 love. Bencic here talking to her team. Good forehand return there from Novak. And Zizou goes into the forehand onto the high part of the net, and it's 15 all. Oh, that's going to land in? No, it's going to land out from Novak. So 30-15. Between Bergs and Djokovic. Meanwhile, oh, a double fault from Bergs. 30 all. Another double fault from the Belgian. Good forehand there from Bergs. He's going to have a smash, and they've not always worked out. He's going to have another smash. He's going to have another smash. He's going to make a dry volley of it. He's going to have another smash. My goodness me, he's going to have another smash. He's going to have a forehand, which he misses. 30-40, break point. So 30-40, break point Novak Djokovic. Meanwhile, we still wait for Bencic and Swiatek to resume. I see people reading the paper in the Wuhan crowd. So, break point here, 30-40. Zizou, desperate for a first serve. Can he get it? Yes, but they're into the rally. On the backhands as well. Now the forehand of Zizou, which is missed. Zizou misses the forehand, and Djokovic once again will have the opportunity to serve for the match. It's a story of smashes today, right? For Zizou. He got broken at 4-all, partly because of one point where Zizou smashed it. Yeah, Gene saying he tried to showboat at that point, with the jump and the smash, but he hit it so the opposite of deep in the court that it gave Novak the chance to just hit an easy winner, and Novak went on to break, but then he broke back, and now that last rally where he just couldn't put any of these smashes away. You'd think he'd put the forehand away, wouldn't you? But he didn't. And Djokovic is going to serve for the match. Meanwhile, Bencic and Swiatek are back on court with Bencic serving. Love 15. Backhand return from Iga goes into the net, so it's 15 all. I'm not sure I'd call that one of the points of the tournament, but hey ho. Saul, hello. Please hit that like button, Saul. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. And if you do click subscribe, if you haven't already done so, then you will see that number that currently says 19,435. You'll see that number. Just click over to 19,436. So, Bencic and Swiatek at the beginning of the second set. Swiatek winning the first by 7 games to 6. Over in Shanghai, Djokovic once again is serving for the match. 15-love, he leads. After a return of serve from Zizou went wide. Djokovic here taking his time, 15-love. Misses the first serve. Good news for Zizou that. Needs every bit of good news he can get at the moment. Backhand return from Zizou into the backhand and Novak. Backhand cross court from Zizou is going to miss. 30-love. Not quite done yet, but it's getting very, very, very now to a Novak Djokovic semi-final at a Masters 1000 once again. First serve clips the net and goes long, so a second serve here for Zizou to look at. Backhand cross court, backhand from Zizou, backhand from down the line. Nice forehand there from Zizou. He's going to let that one go, 30-15. Go Zizou. Zizou, it's you. I see some signs in the crowd supporting the Belgian. 30-15 here, Novak Djokovic. Struggling for first serves in this game. Gets one here. Oh no, it must have clipped the net. Sorry. So it's still a first serve possibility. Second serve, because that clips the net and goes wide. So second serve here for Zizou. Is it going to be a match point, the first ones for Novak? Or is it going to be 30-all? Forehand return, backhand from Novak, backhand from Zizou, goes into the net, and it's 2 match points for Novak Djokovic. Bencic holds for 1-love in Wuhan. Meanwhile, 2 match points here for Novak Djokovic. He's been struggling for his first serve in this game, and yet it hasn't really mattered too much as he sees himself in this position. Forehand return, backhand cross court from Novak, backhand from Zizou Bergs into the backhand of Djokovic, backhand from Zizou, backhand from Novak goes into the net, 40-30. Not quite done yet. Not quite. Good serve there from Novak. Decent return from Bergs. They're into the rally right now. Low net clearance from both players here. Bergs comes into the net, but he lets that one go because it's going to go long. Deuce. 2 match points for Novak have come and gone. Well, not done yet. Yeah, and he got one of his first serves when he needed it, but mattered not. It was a good return from Bergs off the first serve. So we're at deuce. And he's going to get a second serve here. Forehand return. Backhand from Novak cross court. Backhand from Bergs into the backhand of Djokovic. Forehand now from Bergs down the middle of the court. Backhand from Djokovic. Backhand cross court from Bergs. Now it's on the backhand again. Good aggressive backhand there from Bergs. Now he's on the forehand. Now it's another forehand for Zizou. Drop shot Zizou. Novak comes into the net. Zizou should pass him, and he does. Break point, Zizou Bergs. The drop shot is working for Zizou today. A tired Novak is running them down, but he didn't win the point. Of course, Zizou Bergs has played Rafa Nadal on clay in Rome 24. It was a 3-set loss for Zizou. Now he's coming up against one of the GOATs here. But he's got a break point to force a tie break. Can he get it? First serve from Novak. Backhand return is going to go long. Deuce. Okay, deuce here. Djokovic to serve. Forehand return. Now it's on the backhand of Novak. Backhand from Zizou. It's going to go long. And we're going to get a third match point for Novak Djokovic. Djokovic here taking his time. Match point number 3. Where are you going to go with this serve? Backhand return. Backhand from Novak cross court. Backhand from Zizou. The forehand now for Zizou. Backhand from Novak. Forehand Zizou's pretty big, but it's going to go long. And Novak Djokovic gets over the line. 6-3, 7-5. Djokovic wins this one in straight sets, but it could so easily have gone to a third. An embrace at the net. A pat on the back for Zizou Bergs, who Novak today, albeit not to 3 sets. But he did push Novak today. But it's Djokovic who progresses to yet another Masters 1000 semi-final. His team give each other fist pumps. 1 hour and 50 minutes this encounter. It's his 10th Shanghai semi-final, apparently. But anyway, Djokovic is through. Okay, so Zizou Berg walks off the court. And we can now switch our attention to Belinda Bencic and Iga Swiatek. Thank you for joining for the Bergs Djokovic stream, but we will continue over on our other stream for the Swiatek Bencic Wuhan round of 16 clash. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.